We are going live in just a second. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We're just going to give it one more minute. A lot of parents are still joining. We are live on YouTube as well. Just give us one more minute. Actually, it's 6 o'clock sharp, so we can get started. Give me a second to share my screen and um, welcome to all of you for being here once again for Saamarthya Signature Program Swayam Parent Empowerment Series in collaboration with SNIC Rehab Foundation. I'm Dr. Shivani Pandit. I'm a special educator and founder of Saamarthya. And I would like to share just a little bit about who we are and what we do. It's lovely to see so many familiar names and so many new names on the screen today. So for those of you, you've heard me do this a lot of times. It's very repetitive, I know. But for if you are new for the, meeting us for the first time, Saamarthya is a nonprofit organization. We founded this specifically to provide high quality intervention services to children with autism and intellectual disabilities in tier 2, tier 3 cities and smaller cities and towns in India. We offer our services, in multiple regional languages using technology. So we do offer our services online. We have been doing this for a while now, and we just this year opened our very first Family Resource Center in Baner, Pune. So if you are from Pune, do let us know, get in touch with us and find out how we can help you and support your children's needs. What we do at Saamarthya is we provide one-on-one special education and occupational therapy services. We offer group sessions. We provide a therapeutic recreational club called Club Ananda. I think all of you are very familiar with Club Ananda here, I hope. We also recently started Udan, our new program for NIOS, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. We are also very parent-centered and parent-focused in that we offer a lot of parent trainings virtually as well as in person, and we offer one-on-one coaching to families. We use inclusive storytelling as a way for public awareness as well. I want to quickly share what Udan is. Udan is about open schooling for secondary and senior secondary students. And this program we are launching on August 1st. So this is a brand new offering. It's an online support program specifically for senior and senior secondary students of NIOS with neurodiversity. And these sessions that are going to be online are expert-led classes. We are creating a customized curriculum, basically using holistic development approach to enhance learning of all the students that are in our program. So our team will be linking all the registration forms, etc., in the chat box. So if you're interested, you can always click on it or contact any one of us for more information and details. And before I go, quickly, I'd like to share that we are inviting all of you to the launch of our very first Family Resource Center in Baner, Pune. We are having a wonderful talk by Mr. Rahul Kelapure, who is a assistant legal advisor at SEBI, who's going to come and talk about financial planning and what parents can do to support their children's needs. We have a UDID registration and help desk set up that day in collaboration with Umeed. And while we are doing these sessions for parents, we are going to have a wonderful storytelling and sensory day activity for children parallelly. So as a parent, you can learn a lot and your children can be having fun at the same time. So do join us. Our event is on July 20th, 10 a.m. onwards. All the information is on the screen. And we'll keep sharing registration forms, etc., on the chat box as the session goes on. You can always contact any one of us for further information. With that, I'd like to welcome and invite our speaker for the day, Ms. Shaloo Sharma, who is the founder and chief service provider at Evaluare. Thank you so much for being here, Shaloo, and being so generous with your time and expertise and coming on a Friday evening to share your knowledge with our parent community. I think we are all so grateful for you to be here. Today's facilitator is Ms. Bhavna Pandey, Program Manager at Saamarthya. I think all of you know Bhavna by now. And also Ms. Riddhi Dedia, who's our Director of Programs. Again, I think all of you know her as well. And last but not the least, I always like to thank SNIC Rehab Foundation and Ms. Harshali Kharche, who's the founder director of SNIC, for her incredible support and collaboration in all the work that we do to reach out to the families all over the country. SNIC is not here today, as in Harshali is not able to join this call, but I'd like to take this moment to introduce SNIC a little bit to the families who are new to our group. SNIC is a Nagpur-based organization led by Harshali Kharche, who's a parent as well, with a specific mission of supporting families and advocating for families. And Harshali does a phenomenal job in creating a lot of different programs and projects and initiatives to support families, not just in Nagpur, but everywhere in the country. They have lots of awareness programs, parent empowerment activities, advocacy initiatives, community support initiatives, etc. If you don't know of Harshali or her work, but you are in one of our groups, you can definitely contact her directly as well. In case you are from Nagpur, you can do that. So with that, I'd like to hand over the floor to Shaloo today. She's going to talk about NIOS and vocational avenues. So for the past 3 weeks, you all have been coming here and learning about NIOS. You've learned about NIOS OBE. You've learned about NIOS senior secondary students work. Last week, we learned about NIOS and higher education avenues. And today we have Shaloo speaking about vocational avenues. So Shaloo, thank you again. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here.
Thank you so much, Shivani, for having me here. And it's wonderful to see so many parents turn up, like you said, on a Friday evening. So I'm glad that we have a large community here where I can see the commitment towards future planning for our young people with neurodiversity. Shivani, you can hear me properly?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take I'll spend the next about 15-20 minutes going over the presentation that I prepared for particularly this group. And I would be talking in brief about what my organization Evolure does. We have our fingers in many pies, but I would be focusing on the adult and the young adult population that we target. In the middle of the presentation, if any of you have any questions related to any slides or any text that you see written there, please make a note of it. And at the end of the presentation, we are going to stop and then throw the floor open for question and answers. Just going to take about 20-25% of the time that I have here with the presentation, and the rest of it I'm going to devote to question answers. A quick brief about myself. I have been working in this field for almost 30 years now, and like forever, and have worked across disabilities, across ages, across various venues. But what I'm most passionate about is the young adult and adult population. Keeping that in mind, for the past 8 years, have been just focused on the age group of 16 and above. And the whole premise of Evolure is open employment. I'm not the best equipped person for sheltered employment. My expertise is not in students who are high needs or who are physically fragile. I'm trying to keep my focus on young people who are educable, if I can use that word, and employable. Because I feel that for the neurodiverse population, which is just on the cusp, it is the toughest because they are very aware of what lies on the other side of the line, and rather than being gently pushed towards so-called the typical workforce, the chances of them falling back into the large field of special needs, that fear is very, very prominent. So that is the population that I like to work with. That's the population that I'm most passionate about. I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to quickly zip through the presentation. Just give me a thumbs up, Shivani, if you can see this. So the organization
Yes,
is Evolure, and it is just another word for the word evolve, and we are all trying to evolve together. We work across 3 areas. We work with individuals, we work with educational institutions, and we work with the industry or the corporate. For individuals, our chunk of our work is in either college readiness or in employment readiness. So a lot of these programs overlap, but for individuals, we work towards getting ready for college, getting them the skills that are needed for employment, no matter in what industry. We work with very industry specific skills as well. There's counseling, we supply placements. NIOS is a large part of what we do. We do a lot of outbound programs as well. And we have another organization called ECOS. I'll be talking more about that in a while. We also work with educational institutions, which is colleges, schools, as well as learning centers, where again the college readiness program overlaps. We run college readiness program for specific industries, and we have career counseling as well, and we do assessments so that the colleges are making wise decisions. No matter how great their intent is on taking on students, but you cannot take admissions based just on resumes. That's not how it works. And with the schools, we help set up vocational and pre-vocational centers. A lot of work also we do with the corporate and the industry, where we are looking at hiring, training, onboarding, orientation of people, and sifting through the hundreds of CVs that they get. Can we have a good assessment and screening process without being too selective when we are dealing with people with neurodiversity? And then across, after hiring, after orientation, onboarding, we continue to provide support in terms of job coaching, and we also help them with their monitoring and evaluation. This is a little breakdown of the skills that we target. If you're looking at the college readiness, pre-employability, or the employability skills, we focus on executive function skills, critical thinking skills, life skills, how to be able to live an independent life, social skills, communication, self-management, how to navigate the huge world of information and communication technology. So these are generic. So if you look at our programs in totality, 80% of what we do are soft skills or generic skills, these overarching skills which you will need no matter whether you do a job, whether you are a homemaker, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a rich heir and you sit at home, it doesn't matter. These are the skills you need anyway. And 20% of the work we do is industry specific, where armed with the soft skills, we also train you with very specific skills to be able to get an internship and subsequently get a job. We are an internship-based organization. We are not a pre-voc or a voc center. So I need to put that very clearly at this point of time. We do provide the skills that are needed for pre-vocational and vocational, but we are very careful in selecting our industry skills, which are leaning towards open employment. So at every point of time, no matter what the ability, what the cognitive ability of the student is, our focus at Evolver always has been towards an exposure to open environment. That student may just circle back and start an entrepreneurship venture, but the first step is towards an open environment, whether it is in internship, whether it is with jobs, or whether it is with colleges. The industries that we currently handle, and we have had fair amount of success, is retail and e-commerce. In hospitality, all areas of the hospitality sector. For girls particularly, we have had great success as associate teachers, office administration, and in IT, there's a whole chunk of work that we are doing when we look at IT, we are not just looking at data entry. It's a redundant job. There are no roles for data entry anymore, but we are looking at data entrepreneurs. We are looking at interpretation. We are looking at multimedia. We're looking at coding. We're looking at annotation. We are looking at vendor verification and systems administration. These are all the IT uh, areas that we've had a fair amount of success with. How do we reach there? Well, we anybody who comes to Evolure, and we have about 80 students with us, enrolled with us, and about 200 alumni, everybody gets an internship. That is the end point of the employability program. Either they get an internship or they get admissions into college. So these are the two streams that we catch on. So if they're doing the college readiness program with us, they get into a college. If they are doing the employability program with us, they get into an internship. ECOS is a full form, is Evolure's Contemporary Office Services. This is a small office that we've set up. We have 8 people working full time with us. All of these 8 people are people with neurodiversity. So it is a module for other organizations to follow. If somebody as small as Evolure can generate enough work for 8 people out of the 16 staff members that we have, so 8 are people with neurodiversity. There is no reason why large organizations cannot follow what we are doing. So we are very proud of ECOS. ECOS is also a stepping stone for a lot of our young people who can't just jump straight into an open employment internship. They work with us for some time and then get into employment. We have tied up with a lot of organizations. And then a large part of what we do is also NIOS. What has happened in the past few years? I'll go over the last slide again, the last stream again. A lot of the work that we achieve is based on our outbound trips. We do a lot of adventure camps. We do a lot of leadership programs. We do corporate engagement program. We've traveled to Singapore. We've spent time in the Microsoft headquarters at Singapore. We've traveled to Singapore yet again, and where we worked with Empower, which is an onboarding platform for people with autism. We just traveled to Dubai. We spent a couple of days at the Air Arabia office. So we keep having all these exposure visits so that our students get a global perspective and become, aware and aware young people who can work shoulder to shoulder with the so-called neurotypical population. Now, what we also do, as I was mentioning, is NIOS. What has happened in the past many years of our experience is that a lot of time the very baseline of a job in a multinational or a corporate is class 12 certification. Yes. And for most of you, some of you who worked in corporates, when you're going through the resumes, a lot of time it's more of a rejection procedure than a selection procedure. So some of our students who may be great with IT skills or fantastic with self-management or geniuses with mathematics, their resumes are sidelined because the company policy says no 12th. So we said, okay, we are not going to have full-fledged NIOS classes, but we are going to provide NIOS on the side. So by the time you finish your pre-employability and employability training with us, you also have your 10th and your 12th certification. And I'm going to talk about our approach to NIOS a little further into the presentation. I'll just zip through this. I don't need to spend more time doing this. We have a foundation program, which is for students who've just joined us. We have a pre-employability, which is more cognitive, which is for students who are not yet 18. Our employability program starts at 18 because internships will not happen if somebody is not over 18. And our employability program and college readiness program overlaps in many ways. The difference being that employability is getting you ready for a job. For whatever reason, either you've done your graduation or you're doing it on the side, or you don't want to do graduation, college is not really an option for you, then you come into our employability program. And college readiness program is for those students who really want to do college and where we do feel, why not? Let's at least try for college. And again, there is no age limit for college readiness program, though by default, most of them, since they do their 12th and come to us, they are over 18. I'm going to then spend some time talking about what is the direction, what is the pathways, what are the threads that you need to hold on to when you want to either do college or do vocational training or do an internship. So the first step, of course, if you are a reader writer, never take that for granted. You are blessed if you can read and write and comprehend. Do give NIOS a shot. Now, this is, of course, my opinion, and there are people who may differ, but I feel NIOS is just a means to an end. It is it is a curriculum that really needs revamping, and they haven't revamped it for years. But there are a few practical based subjects that you can take up which are highly relevant. So and I'm sure that you will learn later on, as you join the Samarthya's, the NIOS onboarding platform, that there are some subjects which are very doable. Yeah, like data entry is one of them, painting, home science, you have to take a language, there's PE now, there's baking. All these are great subjects that even if may not equip you for college in terms of your college readiness, but will most definitely provide you with the 10th and the 12th certification, right? And then get ready for a job or for college, because for any kind of college, you do need your 12th. So it's absolutely necessary that if possible, do your NIOS. But again, this is my opinion. Make sure that you're catching on, or attaining the other hundreds of skills you would need rather than just NIOS. Because we have tied up with many schools in Delhi, Gurgaon, and NCR, and students come to us after they've done their 12th and they've done their NIOS, they are just not ready for college. Because school is such a sheltered environment, and the the 10,000 social skills that you need to be able to navigate your way in college are just not being taught at schools. But that is my opinion, that NIOS must have it, but you must know what you want to do after NIOS. Number one, where your competency lies, where your interest lies, and number two, you must be ready to learn the other skills that are so necessary, and I'll be talking about them as well. The way I look at it is to have some kind of a legitimate employment where it's not just about a job anymore, it is about a career. It's a combination of three things. It's a combination of self-management, it's a combination of specific skills, whether it's IT or hospitality or e-commerce, vendor verification, whatever it may be, and then with a healthy dosage of social skills and life skills. These three things will come together and make you ready for a job. By itself, NIOS is not enough. By itself, a vocational training is not enough. By itself, having an NIOS degree and going to college, it's going to be a struggle. It has to be a combination of all these things, which the so-called neurotypicals learn on the go, but our population will just need a little bit more support and scaffolding. And then after your gap year program or whatever you may call it, you have a choice, right? You can either go for vocational training, you can either go for learning how to be an entrepreneur, you can either go for just an internship, you can either go to college. A lot of venues open, but have absolute clarity that readiness is most important, that unfortunately schools do not prepare you for, because a college life and a work environment is very different from what your school prepares you for. And even when you get into a college, a lot of the colleges that we are associated with have the option of either doing a 1-year certificate, a 2-year diploma, a 3-year degree, or a 4-year honors degree. So that's fantastic. We've had students who join 4-year college, after 1 year, they say, that's it, we can't do anymore. They still get a certification and are able to then get internships and jobs. Currently, the colleges that we partner with, where our students are going and we have a fair amount of success with, are the Indian School of Hospitality. We've just started work with Ashoka. They are fantastic in the way they are approaching neurodiversity, with Amity University, and our closest association is with Vidatya, where we are doing a college readiness program for them, and we are doing their assessments for them before they take in students. Amity, of course, is a great combination of skill-based subjects as well as traditional subjects. So you have hospitality, graphic design, travel, tourism, what you may call it. And along with that, you also have the traditional all subjects, psychology, mathematics, all that. Ashoka University is still a scholar-based program. They are taking in students with neurodiversity. Their admission process is the same, but they have a great support system as well. Where Indian School of Hospitality is concerned, it's purely hospitality and catering. They have a full-fledged program for people with neurodiversity. They have an inclusive program for people with neurodiversity, and they have a short-term program called the Young Bakers Program, which is for high-need students as well. Vedatya has been doing some amazing work. They have only have skill-based programs. They have culinary arts, they have hospitality, they have graphic design, they have BBA, and they are the one who are following the system of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 4 year. You can take your choice. There is also a choice of either doing an autonomous program, which is certified by Vedatya, which is less on theory, or you can do the Gurgaon board university program, which is more heavy on theory. So lots of combinations there, and they provide support. I know they provide support because we are providing continuous training for their staff members. The way Evolio's program works is that everybody who goes through our employability program gets an internship. We do not promise jobs that not on us, but we do promise internships, and the students who prove themselves at internship, yes, is the best space for them, they do get hired. I will give an example. We've just finished our first batch of e-commerce training with Amazon. And I'm going to stop here for a minute. I'll get back to this. We've just finished our first batch of e-commerce training with Amazon, where in 18 young people went through the e-commerce Amazon training. There was an assessment at the end of 6 months. 12 of these students qualified for the paid internship for 1 month at Amazon warehouses. So 12 young people trained in various warehouses in and around Gurgaon. Our job coaches, of course, were accompanying them. It was a great experience because Amazon has this fabulous inclusive program. And after 1 month of internship for everybody, they hired 3 of our young boys who are now going to be working full time with Amazon. And I thought it's great. You know, they didn't do it out of sympathy. They had a great business model. But yes, those 18 who were sent for the program, they were all our students. So we knew that these are the students who have their soft skills. And my learning in the Amazon program was validated for what we've been doing for years. 80% of what they needed was self-management and social skills and communication and, you know, perseverance and flexibility, punctuality, etc. And 20% of course, it was to do with the industry specific skills of e-commerce, which of course I also learned as I went along. So my experience has been that it has to be a combination of so many factors. Currently, these are the people, some of them, I haven't mentioned all of them. Here is where our students are interning with. Microsoft was a great experience. We've done 2 batches of 10 students each. This was all online. It was hardcore IT. I don't know half of the things that some of the students were doing. I just know that it was very specific information technology based work. And I thought it was a great experience for Microsoft to open the doors for people with neurodiversity. It was fantastic. Of course, they had very, very stringent rules of taking in people. They began with graduates with neurodiversity, graduates in computer science. I said, that's so not happening. I cannot find you people, but they ultimately came down to at least class 12th graduates with some computer knowledge. So I know that everybody, this is a good time. But go to the next slide, which is my last slide. These are a knowledge partner where they send students. We work a lot with Indigo. Incidentally, all those wonderful things that you see online when you mention that you are a person with autism, those are the areas that Evolio has helped them with. And we are coming out with a manual also that will be handed to people with autism once you fly Indigo. I think Indigo is doing a great job, especially where people with autism are concerned. We've had numerous workshops with them. I think most of their 5,000 strong staff is trained on how to deal with people with autism. Okay, so as I was saying, in my opinion, it's a combination of soft skills, industry specific skills, and some kind of a school certification. Yeah, because like I said at the beginning, if you are a reader writer, if you can retain information, if you can give an exam, it is a blessing. Why not try and get a certification? And NIOS, I feel, contrary to what people think, oh, it's for people with special needs, it's not. NIOS is a program for all those people who want to be able to have some flexibility. They want to be able to let go of math and science, where most people do fare very badly. And those are the English, math, and science are compulsory in most boards. So it's unfortunate because you may have competency for other subjects, but you are not able to get the chance to even sit for an exam. It also allows you the flexibility of giving exams in batches. It allows you the flexibility of working and learning at your own pace. It allows you to add subjects and remove subjects. And it allows you to give an exam again if you feel you can do better next time. So it is not for people just with special needs. Supposing I am somebody who knows I want to be a chef. I do not want to be studying and getting stressed about subjects like mathematics and science in class 9th and 10th. So I can decide after class 8, listen, I am going to be studying in a culinary arts college. There is no reason why I cannot take NIOS in class 10th, score well, and then either come back to a board in class 11th or continue with NIOS and then give my exams for a college. Most colleges now are inclusive. At least in Delhi NCR, there is a 2% reservation for all people with neurodiversity, though you need to have a UDID or you need to have a disability certificate. Something from a local doctor stating you have learning disability is not going to work. But I do feel that parents need to also be aware of their own rights about college admissions. Having said that, it's also not fair on either the student to send them to college if they're not ready. It's not fair for the college also that they have to admit students when the students are not ready. It doesn't help at all. We will now go on to the question answers.
Thank you, Shaloo. It was indeed a fabulous presentation. And, it's an eye-opener that what kind of facilities, what kind of opportunities are available for our children. And as we anticipated, the questions are pouring in. I'll go one by one. And wherever it is possible, we'll open the forum for parents and the participants to talk about it. So the first question is from Bindu Sripradeja. She's saying, are these opportunities also open for individuals who don't speak? So what is the level of employment? What are the opportunities for non-verbal and non-communicative students?
So you have to be very clear whether it's non-verbal or non-communicative, right? If there is some way of communication that the student has acquired, there is no reason why these opportunities will not be available. Having said that, as I was saying, if you want to, and I'll talk about college, if you're sending your young son or a daughter to college and the college is not equipped to communicate in the way the student is familiar with, it is unfair to both. And I'll play a bit of a devil's advocate because I've worked very closely with colleges. They have their limitations as well. To give a drastic example, if you've sent somebody who is hearing impaired, where there is no sign language interpreter, he's going to sit in the class and not learn anything, right? So we have to be very pragmatic in what we are wanting. We have to have some means of communication. And for students who are non-verbal but have a very specific way of communication, college is not the best option. It isn't, because they will be lost in college and they'll be frustrated because the beauty of college is your peer group. And if you're not able to communicate with your peer group and vice versa, you're going to end up being very frustrated and not necessarily happy going to college. But like I said, this is my opinion.
But are employers ready with that kind of system? Can they support non-verbal?
Employers are ready, but it depends. Now, if there's a job opening for customer management, it won't work. But if there's a job opening for, say, data annotation, where you're sitting and you're pixelating and you're making all that, you don't need to talk. You'll be fine. So finding the match is very important. Communication and speaking shouldn't be the core area of job description.
So another question is about
Does
12th
it-
standard. Yeah, that was very clear answer, that the communication is more important. If you have the ability, then obviously more than the speech, it's about communication. The next question is about 12th standard subjects. Though we had for the college admission, we want to keep our focus to the vocational training part, but still I open this question to you. How does 12th standard chosen subjects impact college education?
Doesn't matter. They won't look at your college, they won't look at your 12 subjects. The same way as, at least in Delhi universities, you can't even choose the subjects that you want if you don't have the correct percentage. Oh, you wanted to study psychology in Lady Irving? Sorry, you are going to study sociology because the cutoffs of psychology is higher. Similarly, it does not matter what subjects you choose in NIOS. Just choose subjects that will not be a burden on you, that don't require you to study for 18 hours a day. It does not matter what subjects you have. You just have to clear. That's it.
Shaloo, the problem, what happens usually, it's a very common problem with parents, that it's very difficult for them to understand the interest area of their child. Majority of them, we don't know what he likes. And at that situation, deciding the subject for him or her becomes more difficult. Do you have any advice for that?
I may sound like such a non-educator at this point of time, right? But out of the hundreds of subjects that NIOS has, do a mix, right? If you are good with painting, please take it. It's an easy subject. Data entry, please take it. You'll be doing it anywhere, no matter what you're doing. No matter what you do in life, you need to sit in front of the computer. Otherwise, you'll be a lost cause. Number 3, you have to pick a language. Pick a language that you're comfortable with. It's compulsory. Number 4, pick another subject which is practical based, right? Some people get very excited with, history of India. I urge parents to go online and look at the books. Don't take books which are 5 volumes. Why would you do that? If your son and daughter is interested in business studies, watch short videos on YouTube, watch reels. Your learning will be that much more than those thick volumatic books with a lot of the material is redundant. I wouldn't advise it. If you have an interest, get another certification on the side, right? For example, if you love painting, try graphic design. If you love computers, try AI. If you love home science, let's do a little bit of baking on the side. So don't just be totally dependent on NIOS. It's not going to help you. It's probably going to take you more than 2 years to do your 10th, 12th. It's going to take you probably 4 years. In those 4 years, utilize a chunk of your time learning other skills as well. Choose the subjects which are not theory heavy, which don't require too much of mugging, which are a combination of subjects. Do smart studying, right? Because your language subject is going to be theory heavy anyway. There are 2 books of English, वो तो करनी ही पड़ेंगी. If you're taking home science, there are 2 books of home science, वो तो करनी ही पड़ेंगी. Yeah, but your choice of subject doesn't matter in your choice of vocation. That's what I have to say. At least not in my experience. I may be wrong.
That's a very good advice. We shouldn't be so ambitious about choice of subjects. We should be very practical about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Your organization has done quite a bit work in job mapping, role understanding. Could you find, there is a question from a parent. I want to understand, could you find any job opportunity or a scope where where autistic people can work from home, online jobs?
Yes, there are many opportunities where people with autism can work from home. Though, as I said at the beginning of this, we always try for some opportunity for open work employment. After that, they can go back and do their thing at home, right? Um, I have, like I said, I have 7, 8 interns who work for me in office. All of them can do that work at home, all of them. But I insist that they come to the workplace. The whole idea of getting up, dressing up, showing up, navigating your way with other people, sitting down, finishing your work, keeping focus while there's distraction, we need to try it. Worst case scenario, it won't work out. We can go back to work from home. Enough work from home is happening. I think it's not the best thing. It isn't for me, and there should be no reason why a diagnosis should then make it okay for you to work from home. It doesn't work like that. I think we all thrive being in a social environment. At least we can try. If it doesn't work out, work from home options are available always.
Yeah, work from. So, is there a way that to look for them? How parents can approach, what to do?
If your approach from the beginning is going to be work from home, not necessarily such a great thing. You should try and look for internship opportunities unless somebody is really physically fragile, unless somebody has a lot of self-management issues. I feel if somebody is, I don't know the word for is distressed enough, and I'm sorry to be using this word, I can't find another word. If somebody is not in control enough to be able to step out and do even an hour of internship, you need to address that distress first. कोशिश तो करें. Let us at least try. If it doesn't work out, work from home is always there. But to my knowledge, we have to try. Realistically, like I said at the beginning of this presentation, my expertise is not in students who have high needs. Yeah, because there are enough organizations doing great work, and sorry to say, not such great work. But we need to move beyond making arts and crafts and selling and all. That's not what happens. I don't know when was the last time I bought envelopes because I needed it. I buy it out of sympathy. That's not how it works. So even if somebody is making envelopes, can they make envelopes in a large organization where 20 people typical are making envelopes? Can we shift the focus into more global job needs? I think things have changed in the past 20 years since I've been working. With due respect to everybody who is doing such great work. And that is why consciously we've just steered away from doing any kind of fabrication happening at our office. It doesn't happen.
That's a very, very different but a good perspective. I understand that. Another question from a parent is, are these opportunities are for those young adults who don't have 10th or 12th certificate, but are able to follow instructions?
Yes. Out of the 18 who did our Amazon program, I think 5 had done 12th. We work very closely with Lemon Tree also. They also do not look for class 12th. There's a whole 500 skill sets that you have to tick and you have to clear, but 12th is not a part of it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They don't ask for it. If you have it, great. If you don't, it works.
That's a good news. That's a good news because general perception is that कि 10वीं तो करवा ही दीजिए, 12वीं तो किसी तरह कर ही ले, कुछ हो जाए. You know, that extra emphasis and sometimes unnecessary emphasizes on getting NIOS certificate just for the sake of it. Sometimes kills the whole idea of learning and enjoying and getting into the real life.
Yeah. I mean, please go ahead and do it. Like I said, it's a blessing to be able to read, write, and comprehend. But you have to work on the other skills on the side. You have to. Whether it is vocation, whether it is college, whether it is a diploma, whether it's certification, whether it's just internships, you have to work on the other skills as well.
One question from a parent is, how do you feel about safety of children with autism who may not be able to communicate, like bullying, etc.? Mostly people get in home enterprise. How about hours of work? Current curriculum is not vocation based. 2-3 questions, different questions.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what Lemon Tree does when they hire. Like I said, they have a whole number of skill sets that you have to tick. One of them is self-management. They do go back to childhood and ask whether the student was aggressive or something, and they have their own selection criteria. I appreciate that, right? Working hours, some people will provide flexibility, some will not. Like Lemon Tree will not give you night hours, but if it's a 7 to 5 shift, it's a 7 to 5 shift. They will not compromise, right? And like I said, the more organizations who are looking at it as a business model, they are the ones where the sustainability is happening. Otherwise, you won't be able to sustain it. You'll take somebody, oh, let's take and all that. After some time, either you'll ask the student to leave or the student will be getting money without doing any work, neither of which is what we want to happen. We don't want that to happen. We work hugely on safety issues. We work with the organizations to provide the environment for safety. And more than that, we work on the students to equip them to first identify their emotions, to identify bullying, etc. The reason why we choose the large organizations like Microsoft and like Dell and Lemon Tree and all, because these organizations are where they are because of the kind of people they have. So we are assured that the kind of population that our young girl or boy would be associating would be people already shortlisted by an organization like Microsoft. So we stir clear from smaller organizations where we don't know what their hiring procedures are like. Having said that, if there is anybody who lacks self-management, who is impulsive, who is aggressive, we do not send them to large open offices. It doesn't work like that. I have 3 girls. All 3 of them are graphic designers, fabulously talented, so affectionate, but they're so impulsive and so enamored by the opposite gender. I cannot send them to a work environment yet because it's unfair to them and it's unfair to the work environment as well. So it's the issue when we are dealing with people with autism or intellectual disability or neurodiversity is you can't have one size fits all. I can't say, oh, I have 10 autism people, let me send all 10 to Microsoft. I have 7 people with learning disability, let me send all 7 to Dell. It's one student at a time, hand holding one student at a time across the finish line because everybody is different. And that's why organizations are struggling when they hire people looking at the resumes. It doesn't tell you about the readiness, about the mentality, about the sentiment of the person who you've taken. That's why it is one at a time, one at a time. Everybody is different. Everybody responds differently. Everybody's readiness is different. Everybody requires different modifications at the workplace.
It's such a beautiful line, one at a time. And I think as parent also, as a professional, that really works. And that's the crux of the whole story. I hope the parent who asked the question got the answer. In case you have any further clarification required, you can raise your hand and ask the question. Otherwise, I'll move to the next one. The next question is, what is the approx fees for college readiness program or the vocational training program? And I will add my personal question to it, that before even, is there any prerequisite for vocational training program course? From which age parents can start? Can they start from home before sending it to you or any institution? Or what's the right way to do it? Fees and the right way to do it.
Yeah. So when we began, it was all over 18. And then we realized we are waiting too long. So we backstepped and now we started at 16, 2 years back. This year, we had a whole bunch of students who came in at 13. So this was when after 7th and 8th, the school, till 7th and 8th, the school know how to handle it. Because exams nahi hai and all that is happening and it's all expressive art kar lo, ye kar lo, chal jayega. After 8th, then the school performance comes into question. So after 7th and 8th, now the schools in Delhi start telling you, now we have nothing for you. If the student can't do NIOS, then what? So this year, we had 7 students who came from really reputed schools in Gurgaon, where they were politely asked to leave. So we've gone back to a younger age group now. So we have the pre-employability, where we are still focusing on employment, sorry, on cognition, but we've already started working on time management, money management, self-management, gender, knowing who you are, IT skills, etc. We've shifted away from chapter 1, Ramu goes to Mela kind of a story, and we move to thinking skill based chapters, that let's summarize, let's predict, let's estimate, critical thinking based chapters. And then you do pre-employability. After 18, you move on to employability. We do get some students who come to us who are already 30. I'm not going to make them go through 2 years of employability. If after 6 months I feel they are ready, that's it, internship aapka ho gaya. We don't have time. So it's a very flexible program. It is a very, very individual program. The fee ranges, and mine is not a non-profit, right? It is a skilling center. It's absolutely professional. We have 0 volunteers. We have very few special educators as teachers. We have counselors, we have life skill trainers, we have people who've done their MBA. Those are the kind of staff that we are employing. Our fee structure begins anywhere from 12,000 a month to 25,000 a month, depending on the number of hours you are taking in. And are you taking specialized classes like coding and annotation and AI and graphic designing? Because for that, we have professionals, not special educators. We have professionals in the field who are training. So I truly believe that the training that we are delivering is at par with what the other courses like Arena and Multimedia and all are doing. To give an example, our Amazon training program is 15,000 a month. And this is a full day program. It's a 6-month program. So like I said, it depends on the courses that you're taking. And of course, we provide support forever, even after you get a job.
That's the main thing,
Yeah.
Post support. In fact, I would like to come into another question, but I can see one parent raising hand. Ms. Poonam, you can unmute yourself and please ask your question. Yes, Ms. Poonam, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask question.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. First of all, Shaloo ma'am, thank you so much for enlightening us and so much to know about what you are doing. I have a few more questions about NIOS. So could you just tell us about what is the process and how does it work? So if you can tell us a little bit about that. Because as you said, after they do their 8th, and then children do drop out of school because they can't cope up with the subjects. So what is the process for that, if you could tell us?
Bhavna, if I have your permission, can I just share the process that we follow at Evolure?
Yes. And Ms. Poonam, just to add to it, the entire series was on NIS. There were experts who came who talk about OBE program, who talk about senior secondary program. Yes, Shaloo is going to answer your question, but I request you to go back to the recordings which are available there in the group, and it is a box of information. You please consume it. But yes, Ms. Shaloo, you please go ahead.
Sure, thank you so much. I'll do that.
Super. So what we do is we have greatly simplified NIOS, because NIOS is just a chunk of what we do. And a lot of our focus is on the vocational training and the internships and the soft skills training. We only do class 10th and 12th, secondary and senior secondary. We help the students register by themselves, because it is a parent friendly portal. We do help them with the subjects. We help them with the paperwork necessary to be able to do class 10th without having any other education certified before that. You do need a few papers, and you can directly apply for class 10th if you're over 14. We have simplified the entire syllabus. We do all subjects. into something very, very basic, like summaries, flowcharts, diagrams, tables, multiple choice question answers, hundreds of them, and that's it. The students who have enrolled for NIOS with us really don't have to open a book. Our focus is on let's just clear the exams. And the teaching and the training happens in our soft skills program. But that is what we do. I do know schools who are doing a fabulous job of teaching NIOS full time as well. So that's what I said. I'm sharing what we do as an organization, because we do not have any students who are only doing NIOS. Everybody is a part of either our employability or our college readiness program. And NIOS is a part of it. But I do know that there are models where you're doing a full day NIOS study as well, which is also absolutely doable. Yes?
Thank you, Shaloo. Thanks for that. And then there's the next question is, what options do kids have who are high functioning but slow learners and lack social interaction skill?
So if I am high functioning and social and overweight, what do I need to do? I need to run. My weight is not going to sort itself out just by me thinking I'm aware this is my need. So if the need is lack of social skills, you have to provide opportunities. You have to provide the training needed for social skills. How do I communicate? Do I have the vocabulary to communicate? Do I have enough self-awareness to communicate? Do I have gender sensitization? Do I know my boundaries? Am I aware of my body, my original immediate surroundings? You have to teach all this. And in teaching all this, you have to then provide a space. Like, you've taught me Japanese, but I don't have anybody to talk with. You have to send me to Japan for me to practice my Japanese. Otherwise, that whole skill is lost. So please make a conscious effort, find organizations that have we do a systematic curriculum for teaching social skills, and then provide social groups. And if your school, your college, etc., doesn't provide it, please, as parents, I see such a fabulous number of parents here, form a group, start meeting. And jiski need sabse zyada hai, you will have to take the first step. Don't keep waiting for to be invited to the party. Throw a party yourself and call people, ring up. 20 people you'll call, 2 will show up. That is going to be your social skills. In my opinion, and I know I have really ticked a lot of parents off when I say this, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to find neurotypical friends. It's not going to happen. Young people who are 18, 20 don't have time to talk to their parents. Leave aside talking to somebody who's a little different from them. Your tribe, your peer group, your friend circle, your close circle is going to come from within this community. So either, again, this is my opinion, either you can parents, either they can fall under their peer pressure and find neurotypical group of friends, or they can be realistic and start looking for people within their own community. Same to same, kahin nahi milenge. And I give people my example. I've always been this not very traditionally pleasant looking, fat, grumpy, oily kind of a person in college. I wasted years chasing after the popular, pretty, tall, slim girls. I could have spent that time finding my own tribe. It took me years to find my friends who were like me, who accepted me, who, when I didn't land up for a party, will call, say, yaar, kahan rahegi, wait kar rahe hain teri. That is what your social circle should be. So please be realistic and find people within this community who are accepting, who are non-judgmental, who would want you, love you, call you, and will be after your life to say, yaar, tum aa kyun nahi rahe? We are all waiting. That is going to be your social circle. Please find it, and you have to build it. Yeah, schools mein ban jata hai, colleges mein, but for our community, you'll have to build it. Yeah, and don't be too choosy, please. Whoever wants you, loves you, accepts you, they are your friends. Don't look at non-verbal, verbal, IQ, this, that. No, it won't work. Again, my opinion. That's my opinion.
Anybody who accepts you, who loves you, who welcomes you, is
Day
welcoming you
of
in
friends.
your life. Another question from Mr. Pankaj. I think we have lots of questions. I'll just quickly now start picking them up. After completing 12th from NIS, before admitting to college, where does your organization stand? Does student need to do some course at your organization? What is the duration of such courses? What is the location? So location
If
is
your goal is
good.
college,
Gurgaon.
location is Gurgaon. If you've done your 12th and you want to get into college, I would suggest a 1-year college readiness. Having said that, it's an offline program. You have to be in Gurgaon. We do have about 7 students who are getting ready for college. They don't stay in Gurgaon. We have an online program for them. It's more focused, more concentrated. We work on we have 5-6 parameters: executive function, gender, time management, taking notes, all those things we work. So we get students ready on the side, though the offline program is most effective because you have a social group. Online is just one-to-one. So even though I may teach you gender sensitivity, where is the mixed gender group for you to practice it and be smacked if need be? Those are the kind of experiences that you need to have.
Thank you. Shaloo, you have spoken about so many industries which are opening arms for our students. Is there any opportunity in mass communication, photography, graphic designing, and AI?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Like I said, we encourage or we promote open jobs. So where AI is concerned, we are just starting a program with NASCOM where they would be training. It's all online, though we are doing it offline because we want them to come to the institute, and then they'll be given projects which are based on AI. Graphic designing, lots of opportunities, but you have to be very, very realistic in what is the meaning of graphic designing for you. I have one young man who does graphic designing for me. He does nothing creative, but if I make a little sketch and I give him something online, I say, make the same, put my logo, put my, he's able to do it. Yeah. So you have to be realistic in what graphic designing is. And I will give you a story that happened to me just last month. We have this young boy, he's done his 12th, done his graphic designing, brilliant, is on the spectrum, no issues with communication, self-management, nothing. One of my dearest friends has an event management company and she has a fabulous creative team of about 12 people. I said, I have to send my student to you. He'll do graphic designing. He's done his Photoshop, la la la. Happily, I sent him. He spent 1 day there and she said, Isko sachi mein kuch nahi aata, Shaloo. I said, what are you saying? He's done this, that. She says, no. We told him, just go to the Coke website, look at the vibe, look at the colors, and give us about 7 social media posts that we can. He was totally lost. I said, he doesn't know all this. So she says, yeah, but this is what we need. I said, well, you can teach him. She says, no, my staff doesn't have time to teach him. I'm going to give you 2 months. I'll give you my job description. Your job coach sits in my office for a week, learns what we do, go back and teach him all this. So it's very different. If you want a job in an actual company where he's legitimately, meaningfully contributing to the office, you need to know what is your definition of graphic design and AI, etc. Like I was telling you, data entry is over and done with. Again, I'm going to give an example. My students could do data entry error-free, zipping on the keypad like thousands of words a minute. And this gentleman came to us and said, I'm looking for 10 people who will be data interpreters. I said, yeah, sabke sab. 10 ke 10 ko dekhna ye le jayega. He came to us with a whole sheaf of lease documents, just slapped them on the computers and said, these are like 20 lease documents. एक Excel sheet बनाओ, lesser कौन है, lessee कौन है, lock-in period क्या है, पहला clause क्या है. We are say, what is this? I don't know all this. He says, तो आपको क्या लगता है? ये चीज से copy ऐसे करोगे, उसके लिए तो apps हैं. We don't need humans for that. So we have to be very clear in what do we mean by graphic designing? What do we mean by AI? What do we mean by photography? Yeah, photography is still an individual skill. Yeah. Though I do know somebody who works, one of my students is in Vedatya and is now handling all their photographies. He's on their payroll. So whoever is training your students for data, please remember that there has to be a bit of a thinking skill and decision making thrown in. Pure data entry, over and done with. In my own office, there is no work for pure data entry. Nahi hai ab kaam.
I know. And data entry is not a work even for neurotypical people also. It's in the
Nahi,
future
nahi.
world, there's no
I click
nothing is
something,
ever.
it will convert it into Word doc anyway. वो phone पे app hai.
Another question is, it's a conception in my mind and other people's mind also that mostly companies look at high functioning or savant candidates. They don't want to take moderate or little lesser than that. So is it true?
It depends on what your definition of high functioning is. And I will give you my Amazon example, right? Our most high functioning young students who have traveled the world, who have done their 12th, mathematical geniuses, brilliant, वो ऐसे ऐसे घूमते हैं सोशल मीडिया पे, मुझे नहीं समझ आता क्या हो रहा है. And when Amazon thing happened, I said, that's it. These are the 5 people they're going to take. None of them were taken. The quieter, let me follow instructions, seen and not heard, do my work, go home. They are the ones who got hired. And I kept thinking, what happened? Then they gave me instances. Are he said, मुझे तो अभी खाना खाना है, मैं तो जा रहा हूँ. Sorry, we can't have that. He said कि ये काम मुझे नहीं करना है, बेकार है, मैं कुछ और करूंगा. He said कि मैं तो मेरे घर में तो सर्वेंट है करने के लिए मैं. You never know what is the definition of high functioning, but I do know that self-management is the key. You have to have some degree of self-management. That is the only criteria that Evaluator has. And basic things like toilet training and all. If that's not in place, you just need to focus on that. Otherwise, it's not being fair to anybody to send students who don't have their ADLs in place. So we don't teach ADLs that have to be in place. If somebody has a lot of self-management issues, has sensory issues, has no means of communication, can be aggressive towards self or others, organizations will not and should not take. They are not equipped to handle. Why would I send my student mountain climbing without a safety rope just to prove a point? I won't do it.
That's true. That's true. One question is about internships. Can you help in internships outside Jaipur, and can people take online services from you?
Yes, they can. They can. We do get a lot of inquiries about internships from people outside NCR. We do.
Good. Are the opportunities mapped to the abilities of the individual, or they are always trained to fit a job?
Both things. Little bit of an idea and inclination we get either from the student or from the parent. And if that is not happening and it's a total even playing field, then we pick the areas where jobs are the easiest to get. And plenty. We do get some indications. Supposing somebody is not physically fit or cannot stand for long hours, I will not send them in housekeeping. अगर किसी को कंप्यूटर खोलना ही नहीं आ रहा, I will not start with IT. If somebody is terrified of people, I will not put him in a place where there are social interaction involved. Those are the indications that we get.
Shaloo, has your organization done any kind of study of, what kind of roles, industries open, and can parents, is this information readily available for parents in case?
It is. If you look at our website, the industries where we've had most success with are there already.
Because there are many requests. People are asking for job roles, industries, what kind of job roles are open. So will it be possible for you to share it with us so that we can further share it with our parents?
Yes, I will. I have spoken about the industries that we have had a fair amount of success. One of them, the top currently, is hospitality. And when I say hospitality, we are looking at mostly housekeeping and food and beverage. Do not assume that hospitality means अब वो front desk पे खड़ा होकर customers को deal करेगा. No. or he'll be baking these fabulous muffins in the kitchen. No, that's not going to happen. You need to have specialized training for that. So when I say hospitality, we are looking at housekeeping and we are looking at food and beverage. When I say IT, we are looking at data interpretation, we are looking at graphic design, we are looking at this fabulous new field called vendor verification, which I didn't even know existed a year back. We've had some students who've gone into vendor verification. We are looking at AI, we are looking at annotations, and we are looking at something that I can't pronounce, which Amazon did with our students. And Microsoft did with our students. It's there on our website. It's quite technical. What were they doing? Something to do with Excel, high order Excel, which was quite
Okay.
fascinating because I learned as we went along, and I have now completely forgotten. So it was very techy. And with girls, especially because parents are a little wary of sending them to large, open, big bad world corporate offices, associate teachers also work. So we have a program which is for associate teacher training where they train with us and they work then in preschools and primary schools and office assistants also. When I talk about office assistant, we are looking at photocopying, printing, managing the drive, entering data on the drive, filing, organizing computers, looking for edits, all that. So
That's
these are the
interesting.
areas where, yeah.
These roles look very promising. So many requests from, I know, why Bangalore, people are asking you to join. Can they partner with the start center with you? And they are asking advice from you to tell them about the centers at different states or the cities. So can you suggest them any resource where they can go for this kind of list?
I will have to share that list with you. I'll have to go over what I know. I would very much like to believe nobody really is doing the kind of work that we are doing because we are so focused on open employment and we are quite matter of fact about it. But I do know that there are organizations who are doing something similar to what we are doing. I'm going to, Bhavna, share the list with you.
Sure.
And the parents who are so excited about all this, there is no reason why they can't start something like this in Bangalore. You don't really need too much. You just need a space and you need a good Wi-Fi. That's about it. We
Sure
we do have an organization who did something similar to what we are doing in Bombay, and they're doing really well. We shared our curriculum with them. We partnered with them for a year, and now they're on their own. So it's
Perfect.
doable.
That's a very good opportunity. And people, one parent or Ashi wants to know, how does one get in touch to explore options and maybe visit the center in Gurgaon? I think in the end of this presentation, you will share your contact details. Anybody who wants to get in touch with you can do and explore the whole thing.
Yes, please. And like I said, we do have online classes as well. So there is no reason why you cannot do at least a bit of what we do from your hometown.
So I think, do you also work on teaching personal finances?
Yes, we do. One of the subjects that we work on is financial literacy. And it begins from estimation to money identification to budgeting, spending, saving, discounts, percentage, etc., and how to realistically set budgets for yourself. Financial literacy is a large part of what we do. And then we go on to how banks work and what is insurance and investment also.
One parent has asked, can we think about hiring in supermarkets and malls? Amazon back office work was probably something similar to, large retail outlet kind of work.
We worked with Big Bazaar in the past. With the Skill Council, SCPW and Big Bazaar, we ran a pilot program pre-COVID for 100 young people with ID and ASD. Out of the 15 that we sent, 7 got appointment letters. They were to join on the 1st of April 2020. Unfortunately, we all know what happened then. So the retail training program was a huge success. And there's no reason why you can't do it. Our students were working in the clothing section, the grocery section, the shoes section, that's a tongue twister, and there was enough work for everybody. So retail is a part of it, and Big Bazaar is looking at opening up Reliance is looking at taking some of our students. When I say Amazon, they are working currently the batch that we have here. In fact, we are starting now on the 15th of July. Our next batch is starting. They are focused on the warehouses, on the delivery centers, not the packing. So they're looking at the sorting, the tagging, and all kinds of using their whole very fancy digital device that they have.
Device.
Yeah.
Perfect. I have covered almost every question here. I want to open the forum for parents in case they have any further thing which they want to discuss with Shaloo. You can
Actually, what?
unmute yourself.
Sorry, yeah, this is Purva from Pune. Actually, what you said last time, like Shalu, what you said that you are working on that particularly tagging or what part? I just missed that.
Oh, in Amazon?
For training with children.
I didn't get your question. I'm sorry.
So she's the job roles which you just explained in Amazon.
Okay, okay, that was
Yeah.
job roles, right?
Yeah, the job roles. Yeah, that they are working in the warehouses, in the delivery centers, not the packing centers. The packing centers, and now I know because I've done the course, are called enrichment centers. So this batch is not working in the enrichment centers. They're working in the delivery centers where the loads come in and they're separated. They're going to the mother bags. The tagging happens according to what they see on the device. They're either sent to a certain zone or their returns or all that happens.
Okay, so what are the age criteria? What is the age criteria for that? Like first
18 plus. 18 plus.
18 plus. Okay,
For
okay.
Amazon, 18 plus, because internships are given to whoever goes through the program. So they have to be adults.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Anyone has any?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, I put it in the chat box also. You mentioned that, like we are the definition of high functioning and everything acceptable, but there are children, like still adults. Is there any way out for employing them? I mean, one's non-verbal or even the autistic children or some way job opportunities for them or some vocational thing for them.
Yeah, most definitely. So there are a lot of options available for students who are, for whatever reason, not ready for open employment yet. I may not be the expert in that, but for example, if somebody is showing an inclination towards, say, cooking and baking and all, there is no reason why you can't start an entrepreneurship venture at your own home. But I would urge the parents not to treat it as their personal venture. Yeah. And be authentic in whatever you're trying to portray is the ability of your young student. Yeah. And build in opportunities for social interaction. Be smart, be digital. Again, it's my opinion. Don't look for your local community fairs to go and put up stall and urge people, please buy. No. Look, make class products, get a graphic designer, get somebody on social media to promote it, find a large order, make sure you have so much of work that you don't have to go looking for opportunities, small piecemeal, one day at a time. That is what I would really request the parents to do. Have a proper business model before you start something. Don't keep it a sympathy-based model. That is my request, because it's not going to last. Yeah,
So,
and
sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I was asking, do you guide parents on that also, ma'am, if in case we
Yes.
need help? So you will be able to help us carve out how to go forward for our child and how
Yes.
to open shelter employment for him.
Yes, we will. We do that as well. As much as our knowledge and capacity allows us.
So we'll
If
get in
nothing
touch
else,
with
we will tell you what is not. Yeah, sure. Most welcome.
No,
Shaloo,
sorry,
there's
ma'am, you were saying
some
something.
very
I mean,
just a moment. There's some very new parents also. For their benefit, can you just explain the difference between open employment and sheltered employment?
Sheltered employment is done in an institute or an organization or a non-profit or a home. Open employment is where we are sending the student to the office itself with, of course, a job coach. 9 times out of 10, our job coaches supports them, right? So sheltered is where a special need person is delivering the instructions to them what has to be done. In an open employment,
Yeah,
a so-called regular
this,
employer would
it
be
will get
able
over
to,
in another 15 minutes.
yeah, a regular employer is going to deliver them instructions.
Some of
That
the
is the major
vocational
difference.
Any other parent want to, the forum is open for parents to question before winding up the session. We have some important information in the end of the session, but right now forum is for parents.
Ma'am, I have a question. Hello.
Yeah.
Please
Yes,
go
Good
ahead.
we
evening,
can
ma'am.
hear you.
Yeah, I have a question
Yeah.
like if we want to plan our child for the future, like he's just a 14, 15-year-old who's going in a mainstream school with in an inclusive school in 8th standard, and probably he will opt NIOS. I'm not sure whether he will be able to manage with the CBSE norms and also whatever it is. But yeah, because this boy has very much interest in cooking and the kitchen stuff, so being a parent, sometimes we feel that yeah, we should explore this area only. So what should we do in this when he is in this age, when he is going in a regular school? What should we plan for him for future if we want to go for maybe hospitality or culinary or maybe something similar like that?
So there are two aspects to having a career in anything. Okay, whether it's culinary, whether it's basketball player, whether it is IT, whether it is singer, doesn't matter. One aspect is how ready socially and in self you are for the job, and do you have the skill for it. If you've already identified that my son has the skill for cooking and this is a fabulous career option, then start looking at, is there anything that will get in the way of him functioning 100% in this wonderful kitchen in a 5-star? Oh, he doesn't have the communication, start working on that. Oh, he can be impulsive, start working on that. So that by the time the school is over, I would, and of course, my advice to you would be to go for professional training because he's going to a mainstream school. That means he can take instructions with other students. Why can't he go to a mainstream college as well? Now you'll think, no, can't go to mainstream college because ABC. Start focusing on the ABCs right from today itself. And whether he does NIOS or modified CBSE or a state curriculum with adaptations, it doesn't matter. Most colleges with culinary arts have a 2% reservation. They will take him. It's your job as a parent to make sure that he's ready for college. That's about it. So start thinking about what are those 2-3 things that you think will get in the way of college admissions or him working in an open environment. If you feel yes, with some scaffolding, with some training, he can go to a regular college and is then able to get a job, I would try that. If that doesn't work out, plan B is entrepreneurship. That should always be plan B. अगर आप शुरू से ही ये सोच के चलेंगे that he's going to do his own thing, you're not even going to try for open employment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
ma'am.
very valid
Just
point.
want to know, like, there are many, like you just said about the data entry jobs and all. There are many things, many profile, many jobs which are not existing in a current scenario. And the technology is changing so fast that even we don't know after 6 months what will just vanish from the market. So although it's very difficult to predict, but can you just list or just tell 3-4 such areas or jobs where we can plan maybe after 4 years, like what I feel after COVID, this cooking, culinary, this food and everything will always remain there.
Yeah.
So
I think
anything in that way.
So I think the bottom line is, are your students, are your boys and girls ready for change? can they adapt what they've learned in one environment to another environment? Because it's such a cliched saying, but change is here to stay. It's the only constant. Get them ready for change. Get them ready for hustle. Get them ready for things like, abhi ye chodo, abhi ye karna hai. Because that is what happens at workplace everywhere.
True.
For all of you who are holding jobs, are you doing the same things that you did in college? I don't think so. Are you doing the same thing that the organizations hired you for? I don't think so. Is your spouse the same person that you married? Not at all. Are your children the same when you held them in your arms? Little angels now chewing your brains? I'm telling you, it's just get them ready for change. Get them to understand what learning is all about. Get them to be okay with learning different things every day. We have a whole curriculum on flexibility. And yes, I know, especially people who are on the spectrum, they need fix nothing. They adapt like that. Sometimes they're walking, the whole timetable is changed. The little baffled, I said, too bad, this is how it is. Don't want to do this, go home. Everybody sits down and goes to the change timetable. So try pushing them out of their comfort zones. It will happen. And yes, keep upgrading your skills. Right? So computers is endless. There was a time Word was like the king. Nobody uses Word anymore. Now it's Excel. Then it is going to be Chat GPT. Then it is going to be something else. Like I said, I didn't even know vendor verification existed. But 2 of my boys are doing vendor verification. I still don't know what it is, how they do it. But I know that when you go to websites like booking.com, some hotels are verified. So somebody verifies them. When you go to India Mart and shop for things, all those vendors are verified. Somebody verifies them. So 2 of our students are doing vendor verification. Yeah.
We have Miss Padma and Manigai and Mr. Brian Rodriguez in the same order. They can ask their questions.
Hi, Ms. Shaloo. Thank you for such an informative session. My question is, I know you're giving a lot of different options for kids, which is great, but you know, like you were talking about, get them used to change, get them used to hustle. You know, if they're very rigid in terms of what they want or not, mostly right now, what I'm facing with my 17-year-old is defiance. I do not want to do anything at all. But in terms of identifying a particular interest, the interest that she has is in fast cars, luxury cars, fighter jets. Is there anything that I can make out? I mean, it's great to have this interest, but is this going to take us anywhere in terms of a future? Because if you're only looking at, let us encourage the interest that they have, what is it that I can do with that kind of interest and knowledge?
So to correct what I said, I never said let us encourage the interest that they have. I said let us be very realistic whether we can change that interest into a career option. So if your daughter is interested in a certain kind of a sketching thing, that can remain as a hobby. Keep it on the side. If you cannot find a job associated with what she's passionate about, have 2 parallel lines. Be realistic. My core training is as a fine artist. I've not sold a single painting in my entire life. I still love art. If somebody asks you, what do you do? I'm an artist, but that's not my career. That's not what runs my household. So keep a balance between both. Let her do. Don't take that away from her. Great. Do it. It'll identify her. It'll give her it'll give her some sense of identity. It's what she'll talk about at social gatherings, and soon she'll find somebody who'll vibe with her on the fighter jets and all. But there's no reason why you cannot have another career option on the side where you're getting regular paychecks every month. My opinion.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Ms. Mangai, you can ask.
Yes. My daughter has completed her NIOS in 10th standard now. I'm just searching for some vocational courses. So when I went to bakery and confectionery, there were some editing calls where I not able to select into that course. So can you just help me in that? And you just throw light on what are the subjects that are available in vocational. Those students have completed 10th. It is basically, I just wanted to work on her wife's life skills and her future individuality, not in getting. I focus on. I don't want to put her into 12th or college. I want to be. Wanted her to be more individual in her life. So I opting for some vocational subjects. So can you just throw me light on that?
So the vocational subjects that are in NIOS, I'm surprised. I'm sure that the box of information that Bhavna was referring to will have those vocational subjects. Along with the vocational, you'll have to do some actual training in the vocational subjects, because what NIOS teaches you in bakery may not necessarily be what happens in a bakery. So I would suggest that you start finding opportunities for some exposure to the subject that you feel your daughter has an inclination towards. That's what I would suggest. And life skills doesn't happen with NIOS. Yeah, you'll have to find an organization that does life skills training.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any nutrition
Yeah.
nursing courses that is available in vocational? We have
In NIOS, I am not aware.
Okay.
I'm not aware, but you need to be very, very clear about the kind of skills that you need to have if you're doing something nursing. Yeah, you need to have a very high sense of empathy, right?
No, it
So
is.
certain
Yeah.
roles require some very particular skills, and that those need to be in place. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
So we have one last parents' question.
Fine.
After that, we will start winding up the session. Yes, sir, you can please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. In fact, very insightful session today. Especially, the fact which opened our eyes basically is to how do we have employment readiness for our children? Because generally what happens, like, when you hit the wall, all of a sudden, that's the time we realize, like, we should have done these things, like, way back. And now our child is not in a situation, like, to be molded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what we have two kids on the spectrum, basically, aged 14 and 16, son and a daughter. What we try to follow their interest, or maybe like, sometimes even challenges could have turned to opportunities, like, like OCD traits on our children, of repetitive doing things. Those could be very well used and channelized in a very right manner. So my
Correct.
son now, he's 14. He had OCD trait to doing everything to perfection. We got him inside the kitchen. He cuts maybe 1 kg vegetables every day. Every cut is of the same size to perfection. This could be very well used in the hospitality industry, like, like a support to a main chef who wants only cutting things to be done.
Absolutely.
Secondly, something like, folding clothes. If we train our children well in advance at home, to fold clothes in a right way, it can be channelized later on in hospitality industry.
Agreed. Agreed.
So these are certain life skills, that we as parents, I think we need to train our children well in advance so that they can be very well be ready in advance, like, not that we wait for the child to turn 18, etc., and we never need not have our children to be verbal as long as
Agreed.
communication can be done. So
Agreed.
our kids are doing NIOS, like, simultaneously, but then most of the things we try to teach them is in the kitchen environment, to such an extent that my daughter has become a cook at the age of 16, winning cooking competitions across India, coming
Wonderful.
first in teenage category, 3 years continuously, So there are a lot of things that we can do, but only thing is that we need to give them exposure. Some things work, some things don't, There are a lot of opportunities around us inside a house.
Understood. Yeah, you're right. But What I would also urge you is to see if she can do that kind of work minus your support as well. Can she take instructions from somebody else? Can she
Yes,
cut
exactly.
vegetables in a way that somebody else is saying? Yeah, because
Exactly, ma'am.
that, just that. Otherwise, you're on the
Th-
right
This is
track.
no, this is what we did, because see, at an home environment, we understood that instruction following from parents, both mother and father, was excellent. But then these instructions have to be more generic, and each other has to be more meaningful. For example, if you give the same instruction, my kid should be able to follow. That is what happens in a work environment. So we enrolled them to a vocational center just for this, for instruction following from a third person. Now
Excellent.
she's trying to learn data entry for HDFC Bank.
So, Mr.
Okay.
Rodriguez, it's so good to hear these success stories from fellow parents, and being a special need parent myself, trust me, it gives us, all of us, so much hope. It gives all of us so much, motivation to work towards our children. So with this, it comes the end of a fabulous series being run from last 1 month every Friday by Saamarthya Foundation. On your screen, you can see Ms. Shaloo Sharma's contact details, which, trust me, is the most sought after number and address in among special need parents in Gurgaon and in NCRC region. You all are free to, write to her, take her advice for any particular thing. If you have any question, you can write to Saamarthya Foundation also. Before actually closing this session, I would like to say thanks to entire Saamarthya team. And if it is possible, if the Saamarthya team members are there and they can, switch on their cameras, I would like, like all of them. And if Dora, you can highlight I am not sure how do we do it, but we have a fabulous team here, which has been working towards, the empowerment of parents, which has been working towards the hands-on training to kids, which has been working towards collecting information, becoming a bridge, finding out new solutions, and pushing it to you, so that as parents, you all are empowered. I request all of you to be part of this group. The WhatsApp group and other details are already shared in the chat box. If you have any query, if you have any further discussion you want, do that. And before ending, I just want to announce our program, which is a very new program we have started, and I have the privilege of leading this program. And I must say that I learned a lot from Shaloo also. We did a recent research that what happens for the college readiness, why, from when we should start. So the whole answer came, college readiness and vocational training, the whole answer was that we have to start early. We have to start from grade 8 or grade 9, because our children take time. So there is a program from Saamarthya Foundation. It is called UDAN. It is very specifically available for children of NIOS board enrolled children who have neurodiversity for grade senior secondary and secondary students. It is an online support program. We will provide them a specific coaching, subject-specific coaching, and all life skill coaching, which you must have heard now from Shaloo, that NIOS is just one part of it. The whole, focus should be on the skill building, on picking up the right skills, on understanding the future upcoming challenges. And so it's a holistic program which we have designed. It is called UDAN. All the details are given on the screen. You can take a screenshot of it or click the information. To begin with, we are starting with a very small group of 5 or 6 students. So in case anybody who's interested to enroll for the program, please approach us, please call us, please write to us. And apart from that, there are fabulous programs being run by Saamarthya Foundation, which are focusing on parents, on students. There are online supports, there's many other things. Please go to our website, read about us. In the end, a big, big, big thank to our founding director, Shivani, who's due to some health reasons is probably will not be able to wind up the session, but this initiative, this Swayam is so close to her heart. It is her brainchild, and we all are working towards it. My personal and professional thanks to SNIC Rehabilitation. Their collaboration has helped us a lot. Thank you very much for all of you. And in the end, Shaluji, thank you very much. I don't need to say how helpful this session was. I don't need to say anything further. I'm sure the messages which are pouring in my inbox are saying a lot. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming here and advising our parents and giving so much information. And the last thanks to all the parents. Like it's always overwhelming to see the numbers. Thank you, all of you, for taking out time and being part of it. The recordings will be available, will be shared within the group. Those who have missed or those who want to further share the recordings with their other friends or people who are in need, feel free to share it among them. And thank you very much. Anything in the end, Shaluji, you want to say? We want to hear the last word from you.
Last words.
Yeah.
Well, parenting of young adults is a balance walk between optimism and being realistic. So be optimistic about the skills that you think that your son and daughter has. Be optimistic, be encouraging, but also please be realistic. It's going to be a difficult balance act, but you as parents can pull it off. And it has nothing to do with your son or daughter having a diagnosis. Parents of neurotypical students also go through this. Okay, so realistic, optimistic, do the fine walk. Think career, not just a job. Think happiness in totality, not just earning money. It's a package deal. Getting a job made people happy, everybody would be happy. But there are so many other factors. Yeah, knowing who you are, having a friend circle, knowing how you're contributing. Are you doing what you love? Is it making money for you? It has to be all these things. At the end of the day, this is what we all aspire. Thank you.
So may I request
Shaloo,
Dora to
Hi,
yeah.
Bhavna, I'm so sorry. I thank you again, Shaloo, so much. I just jumped in to thank you once again for, I'm sure, what was a wonderful session. Yeah, just keep on that slide. I wanted to invite everybody who's in Pune for our Family Resource Center launch, which is happening on July 20th. So please do give us a call, or we will be sharing the links. I think Sanika is sharing the links in the group chat now for a registration form for our launch event. So all the Puneris, please join us. We have planned a wonderful talk on financial planning by Mr. Rahul Kelapuri, who's an assistant legal advisor at SEBI. And while you as parents are learning about financial planning, we will be conducting a storytelling session for your children at the same time in another room. So we want to make sure that children have fun and you'll all learn. So please do join us, all of you, if possible, on July 20th. The event is 10 a.m. onwards at our center in Baner, Pune. And thank you so much, Bhavna, and the rest of the Saamarthya team for facilitating this so wonderfully and supporting this session. And to Harshali and SNIC, and of course, all the parents, as always, I'm so ever so grateful to each one of you for your dedication and commitment to join every single Friday on an evening. I know it's not easy. I know you have a lot going on in your lives, but once again, you come in, you learn, and I hope you are able to implement some of the strategies that all the experts have been sharing with you. So thank you all again so much. Have a wonderful evening. And we will see you back soon again. We'll come back in another month with another series of Swayam webinars focused on another topic that you all have been requesting. So we are curating topics right now. If you have any particular question on a topic, or you would like us to bring an expert or something specific, please do get in touch with us. We always seek parent feedback in designing these sessions. And so your input is going to be extremely valuable for us for our next series. With that, we can end the session. Shaloo, thank you so much again. Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you and have a great weekend. Thanks a lot.